Anywho, so I completed my case plan years ago, right? And I did everything. I got my certificates. I did the whole shebang, okay? I went to the meetings and went to the groups and did everything on time. Anyways, long story short, they ended up adopting out my firstborn.
Before we take a call, I wanted to remind the audience, please call in and share your story or ask your questions about your CPS or DCFS case. It's 800-222-5222. Also, I wanted to remind the listeners, I have a website where you can get a copy of my free book, The Secret, How to Fight Child Protective Services and Win, and also get some free resource videos that might be able to assist you in working with your attorney in your case. And the name of that website is getyourkidsbacknow.com. Getyourkidsbacknow.com. Okay, we're going to take another call right now. We're going to call Brianna in San Bernardino. Hey, Brianna.
Hello. Hi, good evening.
Good evening. Did you have a story to tell or a question to ask?
A little bit of both. You see, I've been dealing with CPS for about almost going on 7 years now. Unfortunately, I actually completed my case plan years ago with my firstborn. I have 5 children now. I actually have a newborn. He's not so much a newborn. He's actually 4 months. So I completed my case plan years ago, right? And I did everything. I got my certificates. I did the whole shebang, okay? I went to the meetings and went to the groups and did everything on time. Anyways, long story short, they ended up adopting out my firstborn. Now, because of that, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with TPR. Now, with that case, because of that TPR, I was put on the Central Registry for Child Abuse. Even though I wasn't considered a child abuser, it was for general neglect. Now, fast forward almost 7 years later with my newborn, I actually refused to have him vaccinated at the hospital. So they took him for medical neglect. I actually am still waiting for, it's been about going on 5 months now, waiting for a case plan. They will not, I've even volunteered to put me in a program. I've even said, hey, drug test me if you have to. Been there, done that, you know. They won't even drug test me. They just have me pretty much waiting with my hands in the air. And what ended up happening, Mr. Davis, is the father of my children, his name is Jason, Jason Hesh, they actually made it a lie and said that he threatened one of the social workers. So he's sitting in jail right now. They even went as far as they made a mountain out of a molehill, pretty much, and got SWAT team to go to his mother's house and actually got like undercover agents and all kinds of crazy stuff and took us both into custody. I was released because I don't have a record, and it wasn't, I guess the charge wasn't on me, it was on him. So they basically set him up. So he's in jail right now, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do with this. How do you even, tackle this issue?
Okay, well, hold on. You want to get the newborn baby back, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Do you know if you've had a trial regarding the newborn baby?
I don't know what you would mean by that. I do know we've had court hearings.
Okay,
Like
but do you know if you've had what they call the jurisdictional and dispositional hearing yet?
Yes.
Okay, and what happened at that? Did you lose those?
Yeah, basically they didn't, honestly, because I'm in San Bernardino County, they did not want to take anything into evidence. My attorney straight out told us, the both of us, you just basically have to suck it up for today and just deal with it. They didn't want to offer any evidence or put any evidence on the record. which is absurd. Basically, we haven't even gone into the. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with the 366 hearing.
Yes.
Okay, so that's coming up, but we haven't even gotten to that one. And I just received in the mail a form saying basically that they're going to terminate my rights.
Okay, hold on a second. When did all this occur? When did that hearing where you lost the jurisdictional and dispositional hearing? When did that?
I believe that was on the. I have to remember. Oh my gosh, because so much is going on. I believe that was in. I believe it was in January.
2020?
Yeah.
Did anybody tell you that you had the right to file what's called a writ, a special type of writ, an appeal?
No, they did not.
Okay. Is the child with a relative, a friendly relative?
No, and that's the thing too. They will not place him with my relatives.
Okay.
My other 4 children, unfortunately, were adopted out, and they just. I feel like they're just playing games with me now. You know.
No.
I mean,
what they're doing is they're assuming that everything in the past is going to be true now and in the future, and that's not the law. And you have the right to fight, present evidence, present witnesses. If that wasn't done, in my opinion, from what you've told me, I wasn't there, but that seems like a serious mistake on somebody's part.
Oh, yeah.
What I would do, because there's a lot of things that you can do, and I don't want to, have an hour-long conversation with you this evening on this show. I'm not able to. But you know what? I'm going to give you my office number, and I'm going to give you a free consultation. We'll spend some time together on the phone or in person, and I'll tell you exactly what you need to do, okay? If you have a pen and a piece of paper, I'll give you.
Yes, I sure do.
Okay, so actually there's someone working at my office tomorrow, so you can call tomorrow or Monday, 888-6582.
6582.
And just tell them, hey, my name's Brianna. I talked to Vince last night on the radio, and he wanted to speak to me and help me out on my case and give me some advice, okay?
Okay, great. One last question. Can I ask one last? Only because I'm kind of confused. The penal code that they used to take my son to remove him with a warrant affidavit is actually the same warrant and same penal code used to take my fiance into custody, and that's penal code section 1524. And it's regarding something about a felony offense or something like that. I don't know if you're familiar with that code.
No, I'm not familiar with that code offhand. I'm not really good at numbers, but you could Google, Google penal code, whatever you said, 1524, whatever it was, and it will come up and you can read it. By the way, your fiance, who is the father of the baby, he's supposed to get reunification services. Did they order reunification services for him? Yes,
for both of us. Yes, we both.
Oh, they
both have that.
Oh, so they did give you reunification services for the newborn. Okay, very good. All right, we'll call tomorrow or Monday, and we'll talk in detail about what you can do to get this child back in your family or back in your custody, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you for calling in, and keep listening.
Have a good night.
Good night. I don't know if I have enough time to take another call. Okay. We have a few minutes before the next commercial break, and instead of taking a call, I'm going to talk about a case that I did recently, and I think that this is going to impact a lot of people who have cases coming up in the juvenile dependency court. This case involved a physical abuse allegation against a mother, and we went to the first hearing. They had detained the 3 children from both the mother and the father. I represented the father. He had the best chance of getting the children back, and he did get the children back into his custody. The most important thing that happened that day at that hearing was and this is a bad word, but the selection of the judge. Now, sometimes you're assigned to a judge, and you don't have anything that you can do about it. But if it's the first part of the case, you have the right to have a hearing in front of, if you don't like that judge, you can, what they call, paper them pursuant to CCP, California Code of Civil Procedure 170.6, and you have the right to get another judge. Now, you don't get to pick that judge, it's assigned randomly. But in this particular case, the judge signed the order to detain the child, and then we were going to do the detention hearing in front of that judge. And I figured, and I listened to a couple of cases in that judge's courtroom, and I figured that we might be better off picking another judge. And it was a random, type of thing, and we were luckily assigned to another judge who I thought, might look at this case a little differently. And lucky for us, the judge did look at it differently. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up, because a lot of people go to court the first time and say, hey, let me see what happens at this court. And if things don't go well, I'm going to go out and get, a private attorney. The problem is at this first hearing, a lot of important things happen, and people don't know it. And when they come to me after the first court hearing, they say, hey, can you fix that? Or I didn't know that, or nobody told me that. And, one of the things I first learned in law school, in my very first year of law school, that under our form of justice, ignorance is no excuse. I know that's very harsh, but that's English common law, and we're an English common law state. So, think about what you're going to do at the first court hearing. I have a lot of videos on YouTube. Look at those videos and try to get some information about what you should do, what you should not do at the first court hearing. Okay, I'm being signaled with time to take our second break. This is The Secret, How to Fight Child Protective Services and Win. We'll be back taking your call and getting more stories and giving more information.